AOA podcast back for another episode with plenty to talk about on this show, including Elon Musk now being dragged into the Epstein fray. He was subpoenaed just hours ago. We learned this information. We'll talk about all of it. Plus, Rudy Giuliani had a $10 million assault suit filed against him. Lots of interesting claims there. Daniel Penny, this is the Marine who killed the young gentleman on the subway here in New York City. Spurred a lot of controversy. There's an interesting development in this story that we'll share with you. Plus, New York State of Mind, my ass. Billy Joel's moving out of New York. Tell you where he's going. And Doyle Brunson passes away. Sad to see one of the godfathers of poker go. Doyle Brunson dead at the age of 89. All that and more on this episode. You can't see her, but you can hear her, and I know you love her. Cuddles is back. What up, Cuddles?
What up? I'm here.
Lots to talk about on this episode, so let's just get it going with Elon Musk and Epstein. Big story coming out just a few hours ago. Hat tip to Paul, who had this first. Shot it over to me on Twitter earlier today. Can't believe it. I forget too, but there is a very famous picture of Elon with Ghislaine Maxwell. And that's been making the rounds for quite some time. But I forget. You know, we've covered so much of this piece of trash that you forget all the stuff that's happened over the years, you know? Anyway, we learned that the U.S. Virgin Islands, who continue to just slay subpoenas all around. By the way, Larry Page of Google, still nowhere to be found. Still have no clue where he is.
Oh my God.
MIA. According to court filings today, the U.S. District in the U.S. District Court in Manhattan, the Virgin Islands issued a subpoena to Musk on April 28th. The filing said Musk, one of the richest people in the world, may have been referred to J.P. Morgan by Epstein. It did not provide further explanation for its interest in obtaining the documents from Elon Musk. Musk did not immediately respond to a request for comment from several news outlets. In fact, I don't know if you know this, but Elon Musk bought Twitter a little while ago. And so it's not like he needs a reporter to call and ask him a question in order to get information out there. He can simply tweet it. He has not tweeted as of our live episode here. He has not tweeted since 7 hours ago, and that was a simple retweet regarding Starlink. Then he retweeted yesterday a couple things from SpaceX, and also put out an original tweet of Happy Mother's Day yesterday. Obviously, Mother's Day. Happy Mother's Day to all of those out there who celebrated yesterday. So all is quiet on the Musk front, which, again, when I was talking about Larry Page the other day, if somebody comes a calling and says, hey, you're being associated with the biggest piece of shit ever known to planet Earth, perhaps only behind Hitler and Jeffrey Epstein, you'd think you'd want to come forward and straighten out those, mumblings right away. But Larry Page has been MIA, and Elon Musk, now he might comment on this later. Who knows if he's busy in meetings? I don't know. I don't know what he's doing.
Well, isn't he not the CEO of Twitter anymore or something?
He did name a new CEO. Yeah, she takes over in 6 weeks.
Oh, okay. So he's still doing that right now. Okay. Because I was about to say, he's got some time. Some of his time's let up. He's not working there anymore. But I don't know. That's very sus.
Very sus. Yeah. He's still got a little bit more time there. But he is going to stay on in some, I forget. He picked like a nerdy part. He's like, I'm going to stay on
capacity.
I'm going to stay on in a nerd capacity here and run numbers with calculators and other nerdlings. So he's going to stay there. The U.S. Virgin Islands is accusing J.P. Morgan of missing red flags about Epstein. Of course, that's the big crux of this investigation, subpoena, trial, suit, however you want to label it. The bank has said it should not be held liable for former top executives' relationship with Epstein. The subpoena sought all communications between Elon Musk and J.P. Morgan regarding Epstein, as well as communications between Musk and Epstein themselves. The subpoena also sought all documents regarding fees that Musk paid to Epstein or to JP Morgan regarding Musk's accounts or relationship with JP Morgan. So I don't know how much they know here, but it sounds like they know enough to ask if this information exists or if these documents exist. They also asked Musk for any documents reflecting or regarding Epstein's involvement in human trafficking and his procurement of girls or women for commercial sex in any way, shape, or form. Details were part of a request by the U.S. Virgin Islands to serve the subpoena on Musk by alternative means because the government had not been able to serve an initial subpoena on Musk at Tesla or through an attorney who has accepted service on behalf of Musk in the past. So again, similar to Larry Page, right? We talked about these alternate ways where you could serve a subpoena through a lawyer, at a job, or whatever. They haven't been able to do that, which is kind of amazing too, because for a little while there was plenty of videos of Elon Musk walking in and out of the Twitter offices in San Francisco. But that was prior to April when they first started trying to do this.
Yeah, are you starting to get nervous that like Musk is gonna kind of disappear like this other guy, Larry?
Get Epstein and paged. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. Well, not Epstein, or just get paged.
Just get paged.
Yeah, and I feel like the U.S. Virgin Islands are doing more against Epstein and everything than our own government here did.
Then the U.S. dropped the Virgin Islands? Yes.
Yeah, like I think they're really going after it, and here we let him fly on planes and do all these things and get unalived by someone. Yeah, I think, and like our own government and our own judicial system did practically nothing to him. But the U.S. version, they're like, he's dead. Who cares? Let's go. We're still going after him and everyone around him.
It is kind of crazy, right?
Yeah.
And I don't know what it is about the. I mean, obviously, okay. The tie-in clearly is he had a house down there, right? So that's where all this is spurred from. But you're right. I mean, the Manhattan Southern District Court, anywhere else in the like anybody could have picked up the flag. West Palm down there.
Yeah,
Florida.
they really screwed it off. They really screwed it up down there. Like that man should have been in jail. He shouldn't have been like no luxury, no nothing. He's rotten in hell. I hope he's getting like ass raped by a cactus every night in hell.
Good one. I like that a lot.
Yeah, that's what he deserves.
He deserves that and more. He deserves to get finger cuffed by a group of cactuses.
Yep, very true.
Thank you. And you think the Virgin Islands want to be doing this? Like, you think if you were a lawyer and you picked the U.S. Virgin Islands to be your home base, do you think you wanted to handle the sex trafficking cases?
No.
You went down there to settle the cases on who's responsible for the guy on vacation getting hit with a coconut coming off a tree.
Exactly.
Is that an act of God or is that the coconut tree owner? Those are the kind of cases you want to be working on, not this shit. You know?
But they're coming down hard. There's got to be something else.
Yeah. Alas, here we are. I applaud the U.S. Virgin Islands and these clearly lazy lawyers that were looking for an easy way out, who have now decided to pull up their big boy pants and move forward and try and put away some of these pieces of shit. Thank God for them. See, that's why don't judge lazy people. They could always turn it around at the last moment and become heroes. You know what I'm saying, Cuddles?
Yep. Not all heroes wear capes. Some wear trees with, some wear t-shirts and shirts with palm trees on them.
So we'll see what happens with that. But here's the amazing thing, though. Especially, you look at this from Elon's standpoint, like, you can't avoid this. Like, I get Larry Page has just disappeared. But if you're Elon Musk, who's tweeting 14 times a day, now all of a sudden you go quiet when this story breaks. I mean, that's a super bad look for Elon.
It does.
That's how he's going to handle it.
Yep.
Because I don't know about you. Like, listen, I don't have time to do this all day long. But if I was one of these people that are on Twitter nonstop, I mean, I'm on Twitter quite a bit, but I'm not like monitoring Elon Musk. Every time he tweeted, I'd be like, hey, what about that Epstein thing? Like, he's got to get like 400 of those now every time he tweets.
Yep. They're not going to let it down. They're going to go after him.
Nor should they. I like this one from Paul. The pineapple doesn't fall far from the massage table. Good one.
Yep.
Good one. On to America's mayor, Rudy Giuliani.
Oh God.
Boy, have we had a bigger fall in America, like folklore, than Giuliani? He was the hero of 9/11, and now he's just like the embarrassing old man who says inappropriate shit to young girls.
Ugh.
While his hair dye dribbles down the side of his cheek, and he calls press conferences in front of landscaping places instead of 4-star hotels. Anyway, a young lady by the name of what is this young Noelle Dunphy. A young lady by the name of Noelle Dunphy has filed a $10 million lawsuit against Giuliani. She worked for Rudy Giuliani from 2019 to 2021. The lawsuit was filed just this afternoon. It alleges that the former New York mayor repeatedly forced her to have sex with him.
Ew.
Yes.
Ew.
Okay. As a response to this, and we'll obviously get into all the claims of her suit here, but as a response to this, Giuliani is saying that
he can't get it up.
No, right. He responded to the lawsuit and allegations by saying that Noelle, an ex of Noelle, called her an escort after they had a sexual assault suit settled. So that's what he said. He's basically coming out being like, oh, well, she's nothing but an escort, because that's what her ex said about her. It was pretty deep. So this is what Ms. Dunphy is saying, that Mayor Giuliani unequivocally, this is what Giuliani's lawyer is saying. Ted Goodman. Mayor Rudy Giuliani unequivocally denies the allegations raised by Ms. Dunphy, and every news outlet covering the story must include the fact that an ex-partner accused her of being an escort that fleeces wealthy men. Giuliani's lawyer is talking about a previous domestic abuse case where Dunphy was involved. In 2015, she accused the partner of raping her and violently abusing her in a lawsuit. That lawsuit ended with the judge ordering Dunphy's partner to pay her $10,000. Kind of weird, right? You think that would be involve more than 10 grand?
So weird.
I don't know what the specifics are of that case, but I'm sure we'll get more as the days go on. Anyway, in this lawsuit, it accuses Giuliani of sexual battery, assault, and harassment, and basically illustrates Giuliani to be a crazy, drunken, sexual deviant. Dunphy said that she worked under the constant threat of Giuliani, that he might demand sex from her at any moment. She claimed that Giuliani drank morning, noon, and night. He also took Viagra, according to the lawsuit. Didn't you say that?
Well, I thought that would be his thing. He'd be like, "Oh, I can't even get it up. How can I have sex?" So that's how he's getting it up.
I've never taken Viagra. Are you? Is it good to drink on that? I feel like,
I don't know. Some things I don't think need to be mixed together.
Yeah.
What's that warning that it has? Like if you have an erection for 3 hours straight, go to the hospital or something?
Yeah.
Yeah, not worth the risk.
Yeah, right. Although I would imagine, I don't know. There's all these other things now about testosterone and all these other magic pills and potions and such.
I don't know about that.
Yeah, but they say that's what they say. Remember all the low T commercials with Frank? What's his name? The baseball player with the huge arms. Frank. Shit. I need Viagra for the brain. What is that called? What can we take to help me remember shit? Frank Thomas. Anyway, she said that she worked on the concentrate, blah, blah, blah. The lawsuit says, while working with, hold on a second. She claimed that drank morning to night. He also took Viagra, according to the lawsuit. While working with Miss Dunphy, Giuliani would look to Miss Dunphy, point to his erect penis, and tell her that he could not do any work until you take care of this. Dunphy wrote in her complaint. I've tried that on my co-host here. It doesn't work, right?
It does not work. All it will get you is a chop to the Adam's apple. I'm just gonna whop right to you.
Yeah. So Giuliani should learn, even if your coworker is your wife, that shit still doesn't work.
Nope.
Yeah. Dunphy said she was first pressured into performing. Now, here's where I feel bad for her. Now, listen, fair day in court, alleged. She could be a liar. All right, Giuliani, don't sue us. We said all the things. But I feel a little sympathy here because he hired her as his director of business development, whatever the hell that means. And the salary that he promised her was $1 million a year. Now, I don't know if I believe that. And I don't know, again, if she hasn't done similar work for similar money before, then there's a little bit of an issue there. Not to say that she's lying, but I'm just saying you're being delusional. Like if you're out there making like 60 grand doing whatever, and then somebody offers you $1 million job, like obviously
red flags.
Yeah,
red
their
flags.
intentions are not good. But I mean, I also know what it's like when you're promised something and you don't want to blow it. You know, I mean, this is what predators do, right? This is what Epstein did. There was all this promise of more and money and power and all this stuff. And then they just string you along and take advantage of you. It's what predators do. So she was promised a salary of $1 million. She believes that offer was now a sham, motivated by Giuliani's pursuit of a sexual relationship with her, according to the complaint. According to the complaint, we haven't heard this yet, but according to the complaint, Giuliani said in a recorded statement that he, quote, wanted Miss Dunphy from the day he interviewed her. So far, Giuliani has paid her only $12,000 in cash, according to the complaint.
She only got paid $12,000?
She got paid 12 grand over the course of 2 years. Red flag. And she's got some recordings of him because she has him on tape saying that he wanted her from the day that he interviewed her. Again, I mean, not appropriate. Not a good look, too. If she has those recordings, you can't fucking hire somebody and be like, I wanted to have sex with you from the day I saw you. It doesn't work that way. Ugh. While staying as a guest at Giuliani's Upper East Side apartment, Dunphy said she exited the bathroom to find the former mayor in her suite. The former mayor then sat on the bed and pulled down his pants. A scene very reminiscent, according to the complaint, of the 2020 film scene in Sacha Baron Cohen's Borat. You remember that when Giuliani
That's what I just thought of that as you said that.
Yeah. And then he played that off like he did nothing wrong, but it just, I mean, we saw that together, right? Didn't that just feel super uncomfortable and inappropriate?
Yeah, I felt dirty.
And more so than that, I actually felt a little sorry for him in a sense of, you fat old fuck. Like, there is no way an attractive woman would have any, so I don't care what kind of J-Sab's grandpa issues she has. There's no fucking way a decent looking woman is going to be after your fat old balding ass. Like, there's no way.
Yeah.
You know? If I'm him and this girl is in my room doing all that stuff, I'm like, all right, where's the camera? Like, I'm just never ever going to fucking believe that. You know, but some of these crazy assholes get all delusional. It's a 70-page court document, Cuddles. Dunphy also backed up previous reports that Giuliani was selling pardons. Giuliani said in 2019 that he was selling pardons for $2 million, which he and President Trump would later split, according to the complaint. The New York Times has previously reported that the former CIA officer, John Kirikow, was told that Giuliani could help him secure a pardon for $2 million. Kirikow rejected the offer, but an associate, fearing that Giuliani was illegally selling pardons, alerted the FBI, according to the Times reports. This is the second time that somebody has backed up that statement that he was selling pardons. Giuliani told Dunphy that he liked receiving oral sex while he was on the phone with then President Trump and others because it made him feel like Bill Clinton.
Ew.
Weird. The former mayor also told Dunphy he was concerned Trump might steal her away from working with Giuliani. I guess that's another one of those power, like, oh, somebody bigger is like the president's going to steal you away. Kind of again, just dragging her along a bit there. Dunphy claims Giuliani instructed her not to talk to the FBI about various matters that she had witnessed while working for him. Giuliani threatened that he had access to professional investigators who could make her look bad. Again, more Epstein-like shit. Drag along, promise, and then threaten with some, power shit. Dunphy says in the complaint that she recorded Giuliani with his consent discussing the penis size of Jewish men, remarking how black and Hispanic men hit women more than anybody. And he also used an anti-gay slur to attack Matt Damon and claimed that Mayor Michael Bloomberg became gay because his wife left him. This is all stuff that Frank usually texts me in private. So this is really strange.
Giuliani gives off small dick vibes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Major, like, little cocktail wiener vibes.
And very much so, because he's got like a little bit of a complex, right? Where like,
yep, like, what is it, a Napoleon complex?
Yeah. And don't get me wrong, he did a lot of good work to put criminals away, but also there's that little like pipsqueak, rat sort of like hall monitor-esque thing to him, and then he gets destroyed the first time he runs for mayor, and he comes back and he wins, and then he becomes Trump's lapdog and like a weird fucking thing. Like, I don't know, there's some fucking weirdness to him.
He's old. Why doesn't he just go retire and have a good life? Like, go away.
Well, speaking of old, we happen to have an expert in attracted to old people, and that's Jay Sabs.
Oh, that bitch is here.
What up, Jay Sabs?
Okay, Rudy Giuliani during 9/11 is one of the cutest things in the world.
Really, though? I mean...
Okay, you can't deny that he didn't fucking... I don't know. He did a good job.
That was a long time ago.
He did. So he did a good job.
But wait, what's he getting sued for? I'm sorry, I'm fixing my hair now.
Sexual harassment. No, he did do a good job, right? Cuddles, that's not what you're saying either. I'm not saying he did a great job back then. But I don't think he was like...
He lost it since then?
Oh, he definitely lost it. But I'm talking... Now, you're bringing up attractiveness. This is a different thing. Was he more attractive then because of the good job he did? Is that what you're saying?
Probably.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know.
Just because you're doing a good job at something, even a really difficult thing like that, does that make you more fuckable? I'm not sure.
Yeah, certain things like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like a guy that you're not attracted to, but if he's like really funny, then you'll be like, oh, okay, I'll fuck him.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
See?
Like Pete Davidson.
Oh, but he'd have to take a shower like right before, because I'm afraid that he smells.
And a tan.
Yeah, exactly.
And stop doing crack for like a month?
Right.
Okay.
I don't think he does.
I'm trying to think of an instance where I found a woman more attractive because she was doing a really good job. I'm going to go ahead and knock Hillary off the list.
Okay, it's like the Cuomo thing, right?
True.
When COVID happened, everyone thought he did such a great job, and they were like, they couldn't wait to see him on TV, and like,
right? Chelsea Handler was in love with him.
Bait in their room.
All right, that's different. We all watched some of those updates after a while and masturbated. That was weird, confusing times.
No. Don't say we. Don't say like, if you did it, you did it. Don't say we.
I'll speak for myself then. Well, I definitely know coughs a lot over here. Definitely enjoyed his nipple piercings. She was obsessed for like a month and a half. We couldn't get her to stop talking about that.
I remember that in the group chat.
That's right.
Group chat. It was like every episode of the podcast. I was like, oh, here's good news on COVID. And she's like, who would be fuckable? Is that Andrew Cuomo?
You know what? He definitely has nipple ring. Like, remember there was like confusion. There was nipple confusion.
There was nipple confusion. Yeah.
If he did have the nipple rings or not.
Yeah. I remember having a conversation with your roommate back then, and he was like, she's mumbling nipple rings in her sleep. It's concerning. I was like, but all right. Here's the problem, though. Cuomo, correct me if I'm wrong, and don't answer in light of all the shit that's come out since, is a halfway decent looking guy to begin with. Like, Giuliani has always looked like a bad, almost out of work high school principal.
Oh, no, I have to go look at.
No, yeah, no, you're right, Anthony, about that. But like,
Thank you.
he kind of, is it the stutter or the way that he talks that kind of like, he has a lisp. Is it a lisp?
It's a lisp, not a stutter. Yes.
Yeah, whatever he has just annoys me. And then he's got the hairline. And he,
remember his with the dye that ran down his face.
Like, there's a lot of really super embarrassing shit in the history of Rudy Giuliani.
One thing I remember, and I don't know why I do, when he brought his son to something and he was like doing weird things. Remember, he was like, I don't know, 8 or 9 years old, right? but bored, and then it was like a news story. And it's like, okay, well, what do you think he's going to do? He's 8 years old. I don't know if he was picking his nose or something. I don't know.
No, he was like jumping around the podium when he was trying to give like a fucking press conference or something like that. Because I remember they parodied that on SNL.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Something.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, and that's his son. I forget his fucking name. Maybe it's Andrew, who went on to work in the White House.
Yeah, that's right.
As like the special sports correspondent or some horse shit. God, there's a job I would have loved to have had.
Right.
His whole job was inviting whatever team. All he had to do was know who won a championship and invite them to the White House. That was this fucking guy's job.
Easy.
Got paid like $100,000 a year for that shit. You got anything else on that? Because I'm moving on. I'm ready.
I'm gonna have to read why he's getting sued, but let's go. Next.
Daniel Penny. Now here's the young gentleman who
Google. Quick Google search.
This was the ex-Marine. Yeah, this was the ex-Marine who strangled the guy, the homeless guy, right. Jordan Neely. Okay. So we've been avoiding this topic for the longest time, and I still am, because I know people have strong feelings on this. I don't.
I do too.
Do you? I don't.
I do.
I can't get involved. I just feel, and I'll let you have your say, J Sabs, of course. But I just, people get into fights on subways. People kill people on subways. It's New York City. It's crazy. I'm not saying it's right or it's wrong. I'm just saying I'm old and I can't get involved.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, your family was fighting about this.
My family was fighting about this.
At our son's communion dinner.
Son's communion.
Well, let me guess what those libs said.
I bring it up because I do find this aspect interesting. Somebody started a fundraiser for Daniel Penny, and it's up to almost $2 million.
Woo! And he only lives a town away from me, or from a town away from me.
Oh, is that right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So they've raised $2 million as in his legal defense fund for Penny. It's around 1.8 million right now, just a little bit over that. And there's clearly an outpouring of support for him. Penny's attorney, Stephen Razor, wrote an email to the press saying the outpouring of support for Danny is always measured by the amount raised. But what is even more telling is that tens of thousands of people from all over the world have taken time to donate. I do think that's telling. Again, don't come at me. I'm talking from an angle of I have avoided reading about this story. I barely know that one guy strangled to death another guy who was supposedly being. I don't know the details. Don't come at me. I'm just saying that is a story, and pretty interesting that one person has been able to raise a shit ton of money off of this incident. I just think it speaks volumes. I also want to say this too. And again, this is why I get turned off to these things. And J Sebs, I'm going to let you come in and give your full opinion here. But why I get turned off to these things is a tragedy like this happens. There's zero investigation. And then suddenly we have two sides arguing with each other on what happened when both of those sides know absolutely fucking nothing. Now, maybe they know more now than they did the day after, but I tapped out the day after because it's like I heard Mayor Adams be like, well, let's let the investigation play out and find out what exactly happened. And then everybody wanted to crucify him for that. So I was like, forget it. I'm out. I just can't be bothered. But, that was my angle of this is the $2 million. I find that interesting. Jay Sabs, if you have a further opinion, feel free.
Well, if someone else is here, I'm sure I would get ripped apart and have 5 assholes. But right away, you're right. Right away, they made it into a race thing, which I do not believe that's what it was. From the videos, and I've seen a lot of the videos from different people, and obviously, I don't know the whole entire story, but there was people the same color as the guy who died helping out. So I do not think it was a race thing. I don't think the guy meant to kill him. I think he meant to subdue him and probably didn't realize it, honestly. And also, I've been on a train with crazy people, and it's not fun, and it is scary. So if he felt like people were in danger, then what's the alternative? What if he killed someone else? I don't think the guy meant to kill him. Yes, it's
No,
still.
yeah, I agree.
I don't think he meant to kill him at all.
No, but now you see he subdued him. I agree with you 100%. And we're always yelling about people, oh, they're just recording. Why didn't they do something? Now you're going to see New Yorkers, we're going to keep walking. I'm not going to stop. I'm not going to help. I'm not going to do anything. I'm not going to take the chance of getting in trouble. Because one false move, what you could be rolling on the floor with someone and punch them to get them to stop. And you could do something to that person could hit their head, die, and then you're in trouble. People are not going to do anything anymore. No one is going to stop anything. And this is going to be why.
Yep. Because so I saw this whole big thread on Instagram. Somebody wrote, why didn't the black guy helping stop the white guy? And it was about 1,000 comments underneath. And I went down that rabbit hole and I was like, okay, you got to stop. But it's like, right. Why you don't know what happened.
But can I ask a question? Because I again, limited knowledge of this, but I feel like in seeing the pictures of the guy strangling the other guy, they're on the floor. It looks like there's other people standing around.
There is other people. There was 2 other black guys there and someone else. There was, I don't know, it was 3 or 4 people at one point.
So nobody be like, all right, let him go. It looks like he's fading. Did they say that?
There is no
that
evidence.
For sure.
There is no evidence of anyone saying get off of him, or because I really believe that these people on the train, on the subway, were scared. Listen, it is a very scary situation to be on a train. And I rode the A train for lots of years and I saw lots of things. And sometimes I was you get a little this isn't a good situation. And you're kind of planning your next move if something happens.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I get it. Cause we've all been in that situation and you see some, I've seen it where cops have come and I would be like, thank God. And don't let that guy go. So I get it. It's tough. Sad that somebody died. Again, I don't know if this Marine could have done this another way. We could all second guess after the fact. Seems like a difficult thing.
We're not in that position.
Right.
Yeah.
We're not.
I mean, I say this all the time.
Position.
I say this all the time when talking about cops. I would just shoot people. I'm a big pussy. There's nothing about me that is brave. You see the incredible patience of some of these people. I would have none of that. I really would.
I have no patience. When it comes to it, my life, your life, goodbye, motherfucker. I'm going to put one right between your eyes.
Yep. You know what it is? It's hard to say. Again, once you're in a situation, you weren't on that car. You don't know what those other people felt. You don't know if this guy saw something in somebody's hand. You don't know. And Adams is right. You have to let them do the investigation to see exactly what happened.
Well, okay, let's assume that Daniel Penny is a piece of shit. He killed the guy because he's black. That seems like it seems like a tough thing to prove. I mean, you're gonna have to go back and find tweets and journals and previous statements or video. It seems like that's gonna be the thing to prove that he just didn't see him as a human being. I don't even know. I mean, how can you tell if the guy's a racist or not?
Right.
And
other than getting him on the stand and going, racist is what? And
just, huh? What?
Yeah. See.
It's hard. It's so. I don't know. I don't personally think that he did that. I don't know him, but I don't think that. But being in that situation, being on a subway where a fucking psychopath comes on, you just don't know. Yeah. Hello, that guy who shot up who shot those people on the subway. When was that subway attack? Last April? Remember him in Brooklyn?
No, I don't. And you want to know why? This happens like once a week in New York.
Well, no, not in New York. No, not so much because they considered it, I don't know if they considered it a mass shooting because it was more than, I don't know how many people. I don't think anybody died, but multiple people got shot. And it was in Brooklyn. And no, they didn't make a big deal out of it. And the guy had mental problems. So that's also why I don't think they made a big deal out of it. But, and he was not shot by the cops. He's still alive. That's also why I don't think they made a big deal out of it.
I understand people's anger. Here's a guy who clearly had mental issues, and there's nobody here to help. And I think that pisses people off when they see it.
He also had 40 prior arrests. That doesn't mean he should die, but obviously there's a problem there, and obviously there's no help being given.
I was gonna say he was a young guy too, right? He's a pretty young kid.
I don't know how old he was.
I just think it upsets people when they see a young kid die with previous, like when the system fails anybody. I think that's what makes people angry.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, you could talk about he was threatening people on the train, and you could talk about 40 prior arrests. You could talk about all these things. Still doesn't change the fact that it's like you wish somebody could have. I mean, that's the case when damn near anybody dies at a young age. You just go, there was a bunch of this person slipped through a lot of cracks from a lot of people, and it's a sad thing, and people get angry over that.
Right.
What do you expect from our system? All of our systems, everything, they're horrible. For all the tax money, for everything that we pay, they're horrible. They're not doing shit. And then everyday people just going on trains, doing work, just trying to get here and there, have to deal with our systems not being able to do anything. It's such bullshit. Why does anyone have to feel like their life is threatened because New York City can't take care of the mentally ill and can't help them and can't do these things? Why? What more do they want from us?
I think
what more do they fucking need?
I think that's why Billy Joel is leaving, to be honest.
Yeah, for him to, I mean, that's like fucking, I can't even, I get pissed off at this shit.
Also, just as a little, just because it was a companion piece, but David Patterson, you remember him? He was our blind governor for a little while there.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
SNL really made fun of him.
Yeah. He came out and said that Daniel Penny should not face charges in subway chokehold death. That was another little, again, don't come at me for presenting one side of an argument here, because I'm sure we could find other people that say so. But in the he raised $2 million story, this was like a link in there.
That's telling that he raised all that money. And I think if they try to convict him with something and he gets off, they're going to protest in New York because they have nothing else better to do with their lives. And if he does get convicted, it's you're really gonna see no one is gonna do anything.
Yeah,
and that's bad, just as much.
back to the point that I made. I don't think it's so much that people are mad at Daniel Penny as much as it is that they're mad at this system and the situation that it failed this kid. I think that's where a lot of the anger comes from. So if you're big Daniel Penny fans out there, don't be discouraged. Billy Joel is leaving New York. He's obviously lived here all of his life. For the last 20 years, he's lived in Oyster Bay in a massive and gorgeous home.
I've passed it, actually.
Have you?
I have, because my boss had a boat and we would go around there.
Your boss would go around there?
There is I don't know why he used to go right over. Oh, I know why. Because when they would fix his boat, they would leave it in the water over there.
Oh, is that right?
So I've gone from Oyster Bay to Northport. Not fun. In April when it's 40 degrees out. Not fun.
What's weird is I can remember, I don't know, 10 years ago or so, reading about his house. And I mean, technically they say it's Oyster Bay, but it's actually a village called Center Island. Like it's a whole.
Oh yeah, over there.
Yeah, and we've all lived here all our lives, and I knew Billy Joel lived on Long Island somewhere. I had never heard of Center Island.
I know it's in a weird spot.
It's like when a booger gets caught outside your nose. It's just like a little above the rest. It's this little booger above the rest of the island. But I mean, there's nothing but tens of millions of dollars mansions on that fucking spot. And it's one of those crazy places. There's somebody else who lives there. I can't remember who, but
it's the owner of Cablevision.
Oh, Dolan, is that right? That's where he lives?
So. Mm-hmm.
Okay. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. It's just this ridiculous fucking...
Where's he going?
He's going to Florida, which I'm sorry.
Are you fucking kidding? Is he seriously going to Florida?
Yeah.
Everybody is. And you know what? I'm next. I got next.
Follow Billy?
Even though I hate his music.
You don't like Billy Joel's music?
Janine, I love Billy Joel.
I'm sorry. I know. I'm supposed to like it because I live on Long Island now, but I just...
Wait, so how is he going to do that? And he does the shows at the Garden.
He'll fucking fly. It's a 2-hour private flight. He'll be in and out. He'll be home before Billy Joel could fucking leave Madison Square Garden and be on the couch in Florida before we would coming back from Madison Square Garden.
Where is he going? I want to know. Jupiter. Is he going?
Let me see here. This place in Florida looks fucking... This place looks gorgeous too. I'm looking at pictures. I'll put this in the live chat so everybody could look as well. He's in Florida. Let me see. Manalapan?
I thought there's a Manalapan in Jersey.
That's what I thought.
It's south of Palm Beach.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you something. A lot of people from New York have moved to Florida. I know you guys know someone. And also, I would love to move. I would move to Florida. I would. I don't know if I'd last there, but I love it there. And also, just talking about people in New York, how much it sucks. You know the comic Joe DeRosa?
Yes.
Earlier today, I was watching a podcast. Trying to get something stuck in my throat. And his place got robbed.
By Billy Joel?
By Billy Joel.
Oh, this is unrelated. Sorry. I know Billy likes to drink and do weird shit.
Right, exactly. And he said this is probably the straw that's going to make him leave because I felt so bad for him. I really did, because you could tell how upset he was. He is a collector of like horror movies and DVD, like strange shit, right? He's weird, but you know what? Very hot. Also,
nice.
He just said like he just feels like they took stuff from him. He feels violated. I just feel bad for him. So he said he's out. So a lot of people are out. And you know what? I'm next. Oh, maybe I could date Joe DeRosa next. What do you think?
That anything could be an improvement for you, to be honest with you.
I think so.
Yeah.
Don't.
Joe DeRosa. Billy Joel is maintaining his Sag Harbor residence, so he's not leaving entirely. Although from what I hear, he's been renovating the shit out of that for years. So, I don't really know. Our good buddy Brian the Cannon Bannon runs into him like every 5 minutes. Yeah, he's like always Brian the Cannon Bannon. Sweetheart.
No, I know he's a dick. The other guy,
Billy Joel. I don't know. I think so. He went into the radio station that Brian and I both. Oh, Brian's here. I love it. That Brian and I both worked at. So
I'm kidding, Brian.
Everybody there viewed that as a nice thing, and I think that was a nice thing too. I think he's nice. I mean, I think Brian didn't tell me this. Somebody else did, that he has a lot to drink and drives around Sag Harbor,
Oh, okay.
So what are you gonna do? And sometimes he hits shit. Like, didn't he get in trouble for hitting something a couple years ago? I think.
Yes, something.
Yeah. So we forgive that. Here's the thing: when you have to play sold out shows in Madison Square Garden, as long as you don't kill anybody, you could still drive a little drunk in this state. That's the rule.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's really it. That's the rule. So let Billy go a little bit. No big fucking deal. Still selling the shit out of those fucking Madison
I
Square
know
Garden
we
shows.
should really. We've seen him before with Elton John, but I'd like to see him at the Garden. And
Oh. Well, yeah, I have. You haven't, right?
Fucking hint, Anthony. Hint. I want to go see him. You make me go see Dave Matthews, so now I want to go see.
Oh God.
I do. Brian says that Billy walked by when he and I were on a remote at the park concerts. I was on the air with you, and tried to get. Oh, see, I don't. I fucking don't even remember that. That's entirely possible. Poor Brian. That would have been some scoop.
I mean, I don't. I know that's mean, but I have no interest in seeing him. I don't. I know
I
that's
love
mean.
him. I love him.
He really is great live. I mean, incredibly good live.
Yeah.
Again, Cuddles and I saw him drunk off his ass in Philly. Remember?
Oh, that was the best.
Was he that bad?
Janine, at one point, he took. Was it the microphone stand? The long black pole? Is that the microphone stand? Remember, he was swinging it around in the air?
Yeah.
And Elton John calmed him down?
Yeah, Elton had to come over. Well, but you're missing the most famous part. Did you forget the biggest part of the night?
Oh, didn't he fall off the chair?
Yeah, he goes to sit down on his piano chair, and he goes fucking ass backwards over, fall backwards because he was hammered.
He was drunk before he came out. But he was still on point. He was amazing.
So was Elton, coincidentally.
Oh, really?
All right, they can't all be great.
Nope.
That was a good show. But Elton was pissed, remember? Like Elton, look at Elton's face.
Yeah, he was frustrated with him. But it was such a good show.
Elton gave Billy the same look that Frank gives Janine and I. Like, oh, I got to carry this idiot.
Oh, well.
All right. Is that it? Oh, Doyle Brunson.
Don't know who that is.
Lost the great Doyle Brunson. 89 years old. One of the best poker players of all time.
Oh, I remember him.
Became world famous. You have a gambling problem. You should know Doyle Brunson. Right? He wore the big cowboy hat, and he was always cranky looking. He became famous for playing the hand 10 deuce. So in poker, you always obviously want to have a pair or higher. Pair of jacks is better than a pair of threes, obviously. If you have a 6-7 of the same suit, that's a good hand because you could get a straight flush. There's all those things. A 10 and a 2 is the shittiest, most awful hand that you could possibly have, because even if you hit a pair of 10s, any pair of jacks is better. Like, there's so many things that are better than a 10 and 2. But Doyle was so great and found the 10 and 2 hand so lucky. He became famous for playing that hand a lot and winning with it. So Doyle Brunson was a real legend in the old poker world.
Okay.
Could you make now, Janine, you like gambling?
A little bit. I
love gambling too. And I like to play. Again, not so much since Cuddles came around because I'm not allowed to. She requires a lot of
Because you lose. Because you lose money. Right. So why am I going to let you go gamble our money away?
Sounds unfair. But I've been known to sit at a table and then 12 hours pass and I'm like,
do
holy
nothing.
Shit, I can't believe. So I've gone on runs like that for sure, especially with your fucking brother. Like there have been lost weekends where it's only been like 4 hours of sleep and the rest of the time sitting at a poker table. I get it. But my point is, and this is what I'm asking you, like these guys sit at tables for 8 to 10 to 12 hours a day, every friggin' day.
I know.
Every week of the year, every year of their life. I love to play, but it's in spurts for me. I don't know if I can do
every day, all day long. Yeah, I don't think I could do.
Yeah.
I can't sit for that long. I can't sit for like more than an hour.
I can't even sit for this fucking show. By the way.
I'll tell you this, the seats at a casino, I don't know what sort of unicorn vagina they're made of, but they are the softest, most loveliest, cushiony. Like your ass does not hurt in those chairs.
No.
They are fantastic.
And that air is like, it makes you so much happier and it makes you want to sit. I could never.
Yeah, well, they pump that real like pure oxygen with nothing else in it in there.
Right.
Fucking keep you going.
You're like, get this.
What do you play, Janine? Slots or cards? I forget.
So I used to play, and it's hard to find because not everybody has it. And when they do, it's not open all the time. Let It Ride.
Oh, the card game? Yeah, okay.
Yeah. I do like, I haven't played it at a table in a long time. Hold'em, you know. Or I do play slots. I do like to play them. I have a thing where if there's like extra bonus games, I'm going to that. I'm going straight for that. And sometimes I'll do what the old ladies do, which is watch other people play. And if they're not winning, when they get up, I get on their machine.
They sit down.
Yep.
I find this guy on TikTok, D Lucky, he's called. Have you ever come across D Lucky?
No.
He's got this saying, when the thumb goes up, it's just like that. Like, because he films people that come to play with him. Like I don't think you have to pay. You have to pay him, but not like up front. Like you pay him a percentage of whatever you win. And his whole TikTok is just like people sit down and then in like 45 seconds, they hit a jackpot. And it's always those bonus games that you're talking about. And that's his whole fucking thing. But it's so shitty. I think I've talked about this before. He requires that you play $1,000 and you play on like the $100 pull machines. So it's like the equivalent of you put in $10 and then you win like $35.
Yeah.
These people put in like $1,000 and they win like $3,000. And he's like, "Oh, you hit a jackpot. Isn't that fucking exciting?" And it's like, is this really exciting?
Because you're getting $1,000, right?
Yeah. And then there's this other girl because now I'm on gambling talk. There's this other girl and there's three other people I follow actually do the same thing. And all they do is fucking play slot machines. Like they're just on TikTok and YouTube playing slot machines. They fucking put a phone up on a tripod and live stream their playing.
Oh yeah, I've seen that too.
And then they have somebody else there filming on another phone for when they actually like get into like a bonus game, and then they put those clips on TikTok. And this is like all they fucking do all the time.
These people have money to waste. Right.
Yeah, I don't know how these people are fucking doing it. It's crazy.
I don't know.
Well, I don't know about you, but I like bingo and I like playing Uno. So if you want to play those with me.
What do you like, 94?
I know.
I am. I don't like gambling. It's boring to me.
Oh, what's next? Do you
want to exciting. It's so exciting.
You want to give the kids at Halloween pennies in their baskets?
Whatever.
That reminds me, did you renew our AARP magazine subscription? All right.
No, but I do get emails from AARP.
Bingo. Who wants
Yeah,
to
me
go?
too.
I mean, there's bingo nights around here.
No, the worst is when you see an article and you're like, oh, this is interesting. You click on it and you're like, oh, fuck, it's from AARP.
Oh, shit. No, thanks.
I get emails from Silver Singles.
You should have started answering some of those, though. There's still time for you to do better.
I know.
All right. Honestly, though, all kidding aside, I do love a good bingo game. It's fucking exciting.
Come on. I watch them on TikTok. There's a girl who owns them in California, in like Long Beach or Compton or I don't know, one of those areas. And her father owns them and she doesn't. She tells like people spend hundreds of dollars at bingo.
Mm-hmm.
Like they're like, yeah, the buy-in and you're buying 3 sheets and buying this and buying that, and they're like $180. I'm like, what the fuck? Where's your $5?
Right.
I know, it's
I'm
crazy.
like, and they put it on a credit card. Who puts bingo on a credit card?
Oh, really?
That's they crazy. Take credit cards. And do you want cash back? What the fuck does that? I'm like, go to a senior center. You could play bingo for $5 during the day with like a bunch of, like, I don't get it.
Get that Jonesing, get that fix done. Go to the old senior center. All right, it's gonna wrap it up for us because we got to do the other thing for the thing. You know? Don't tell anybody. Don't tell anybody. Appreciate everybody. Thank you all for the live chats. Thank you for the shares. Hit the like button. Hit the share button. Hit the button.
You know that special button.
Mm-hmm. And also try the become a member button. Link in the description below. Also at anthonyonair.com. Become a member for as low as $2.99. You can support the podcast here. Get some exclusive content. I will tell you this. There will be a lot of exclusive content over the next 4 days or so.
Ooh.
A lot of behind the scenes stuff that will not be shared publicly.
Ooh.
Yes, it is an exciting time to become a member. Join right now. Re-up if you haven't.
What a time to be alive.
Link in the description below.
First me and mine. Sorry,
Thanks.
I'm rapping now.
Thanks to Cuddles. Yeah, you go, Janine. Thanks to J Sabs. We're out. Catch you on the next one. You got 6 seconds to say whatever you want, Janine.
Bye, everyone.
Maybe we should go.